Ether Insurance is dedicated to helping the businesses and people of Baton Rouge secure affordable insurance tailored to their needs. With our curated network of insurance carriers, we provide the best solutions for home, auto, life, and business coverage. Ether Insurance, powering and protecting your world.
2020 took a toll on all of us. If you're going through a divorce or custody issue, let Dejan Law Office be by your side in 2021.
Dejan Law Office, fighting for what you deserve. 344-ANDY.
Brandon Lejean here, courtesy Buick GMC.
Call Brandon Lejean at 337-224-1867.
Come see us today, courtesy Buick GMC.
We showed you what the GOAT was last year when we beat y'all 50-7.
Let's go! One team!
Relax, big boy. One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast.
Team One Podcast?
One Team One Podcast?
Yeah, they did a good job.
Really good job.
Yeah. Why is he so fat?
One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast.
One team, one podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back. One Team, One Podcast. Guess what episode number it is, guys? It is episode 69. Woo!
Come on now.
Nice.
So nice.
So
I've been
nice.
waiting over a year for this.
We've been waiting
episode.
for a long time for episode 69, guys. So
This is actually going to be our last episode. We're going to cut it off after this. I forgot where to look.
I know. We have some upgrades in the office, so we're doing a few things, moving some stuff around, and we're going to do this quite a bit today. We're going to zoom in on Jack's face a few times today. Say hello, Jack.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, look at this guy.
It's good to see you.
You like the
Thanks
whole,
for stopping in.
You like the whole zoom in and zoom out thing. Yeah, I can give you a tour of the office now. So, we got the spring game going on right here. Obviously, we got to do something about this window situation. I have my Tyrann Matthew right down the floor right there. I just got it in, and I need to put it up on the wall. So lots of things happening. One Team One podcast in the headquarters, the Courtesy Automotive Group studio.
Yeah, Courtesy hiding down here.
Studio. Yeah, Courtesy's right there. Speaking of Courtesy, big shout out to all of our sponsors. Bank of England Mortgage. You see him right here at my crotch level. Patrick Michelson, you're at my crotch level. Bank of England Mortgage is a great sponsor of us. Check out if you're in refi mode or if you're in mortgage, you're trying to purchase a new house, reach out to Patrick Michelson. I'll post all of their information on our Facebook page, or you can go to boemortgage.com. You can do a quote online if you wanted to do that and kind of put your information in now. Great people, great supporters of us. That we're talking about golf tours. We're talking about all kinds of things that they want to be a part of the podcast with. We would really, really appreciate you guys supporting them as well and letting them know that the podcast came. Yeah, it would be great for us, but great for them as well. They're trying to do some different kind of marketing, so I think this is perfect for them. Let's big shout out to Courtesy Buick GMC. So Brandon Lejean, so over in Lafayette, shipping out Denali's like crazy. So you see his number right here. Give him a call. You can reach out to him on Facebook as well. He's very active on Facebook. Yep. Huge Will Wade fan. Mm-hmm. So I told you this a couple of weeks ago. If you want a fucking discount on a truck, call Brandon and tell him how much you love Will Wade. I'm just trying to help you out. I'm pretty sure he's going to shave some deal if you told him that the podcast sent him and that you love Will Wade. He will make a deal for you on a brand new truck. So they're also doing pre-orders on those new not the Broncos. What are they? The GMC. Oh shoot! There's some sort of new. Oh, the Hummer. Yeah, new Hummer.
It is the Hummer.
They're doing pre-orders on the Hummers right now. But they were doing pre-orders of the new Yukons earlier this year, the Denali Yukon. So they finally have a few of them that are on the lot. But also, he will deliver everywhere in the state for you. Yeah. So you can be in Baton Rouge and he'll like order it, deliver it, all that. So he'll take care of one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Ether Insurance. You don't even know what I'm about to say every time I say it.
I like it like this.
All right. So Adam Emirado, Ether Insurance.
It's like whack-a-mole.
Yeah. He'll do a insurance quote right there online. He'll call you personally. He'll take care of everything you need on the insurance end. Adam's good people. They're also taking Bitcoin now for currency for your premiums.
That's awesome.
He's actually into Bitcoin. So
you told me
they try to be very, I guess, in the forefront of things that the insurance companies are doing. So he's also in the real estate business. He can kind of help you out with a lot of stuff. So reach out to Adam. But Relief Pools, Ben Landry at Relief Pools. He is booked. I think I called him a couple of days ago. He is booked, I believe, until June at this point. But it's actually a good time to give him a call about maybe like a hot tub or a renovation of a pool. He's an expert at the renovation of the pool part. But he's been doing new pool and hot tubs. I'll usually repost them all the time whenever he does them because they look beautiful. But he knows all the guys in the industry. And if you know the pool industry at all, I had a pool and a hot tub done, and it's the same fucking guys that go out to every site. And you're like, well, why can't I just call that guy? He's like the gunite guy in Baton Rouge. Why can't I just call that guy? They don't work like that. So every pool company just upsells you on gunite. So he can be upfront with you and just let you know. You have to go through one of those to really understand it. And then you're like, well, I could fucking do this.
Right.
So, but he can take care of all that for you. He's a good guy. Ben Landry, give him a call. We have, Bear Process Safety.
There you go.
I was trying to trick you up a little bit.
That was the only one left. Well, actually, there is one more.
No, there's one more. So give Adam Barry a call, Bear Process Safety. Process safety for plants, industrial. They can set up the training plans for your training managers. So they usually have these guys come in and they kind of do the whole spiel with them, but they actually work even out of the country. So give these guys a call. It's a great business in Baton Rouge, a small business that is going to blossom into a huge business. I know what he's got in the plans and in the works over there. Fantastic to support these guys now. So give them a call let them know that the podcast sent you. And then last but not least, Bogies in Baton Rouge.
Oh yeah,
you can't forget Bogies.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we've been forgetting Bogies. We haven't been there.
We need to go back to Bogies. Here's Ellie, our podcast mascot, licking Jack's crotch as we speak. So Ellie, she's a sweet dog. She's deaf. She's handicapped, so she don't know nothing.
She can't hear nothing.
Bogies, check out Clayton over there at Bogies. They're doing crawfish on Sundays now, so we need to go check out that, actually. Go get some frozen drinks and some crawfish outside on a Sunday, and maybe we can do a podcast out there. We're actually trying to get in touch with Durante Jones.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing. It may actually happen this week. I know you have a test coming up.
I have a test in the next 2 days. Yeah.
All right. So you're close to finals coming up, right?
Yeah. I got a final tomorrow and on Thursday, and then I got another next Friday.
Okay. So I may be riding solo a little bit until you get done.
Well,
possibly.
When are you doing?
I don't know.
You just gotta let me know.
Maybe Thursday. I'm thinking about calling Durante. Old DJ is like what I like to call him. Big D.
I think I'm playing golf Thursday, but I can swing by after.
Not sure if that's gonna happen or not, but I'll call. I'm gonna text Durante Jones. We were waiting for spring to end, and now we are in the semifinals of the Old Fashioned Bracket Challenge. So I want him to come in and do some judging on some of these old fashions. So one of the big ones that we have coming up is going to be Stabs versus Overpass Merchant. And I want him to be involved, especially when we go to Stabs. I want him to kind of see all they'll roll out the fucking red carpet for Durante Jones.
Oh, for sure.
And I made a post. I don't know if anybody saw him, but if after the spring game, we're watching the spring game right now on the TV, but after the spring game, I said, if anybody saw him out, buy him a bourbon on us. Like, you can just bill us. I'll pay for it. I don't care. But I want a picture to verify.
Right.
So don't just send me a fucking invoice.
Right.
I'm not an idiot. But that's our guy. So Durante Jones. I also posted a picture of a Chris Landry just had a baby girl, and I got a onesie with the Durante Jones Bourbon Club logo on it.
Really?
Durante, Coach Durante, reaches out to me and he says, "Oh, I love that. I need to get that for my niece." And I said, I got you. So waiting to hear back from him on sizes, and I'll get him that. But go to oneteam1podcast.com and you can check out all of our merchandise. But anyway, big news. We're watching the spring game right now.
Right.
That was, I guess, the biggest thing. LSU baseball is what it is this year. We kind of knew this going in, but I don't even really want to talk about it.
Nope.
Ole Miss is coming up, and it's about to be bad, bad. Arkansas is right after that.
Yep.
It's going to be bad.
Maybe even worse.
Yeah. The spring game gave me a lot of optimism.
Yeah. I felt good about that.
I loved it.
I felt that was the most satisfying spring game I have ever watched in my life.
Even the negatives that you could take out of it still look like positives because you're playing each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I like about the spring game is that obviously it's hard to what's the quote? Ben Stiller, I pass on the grass all the time. Is that name Meet the Fockers?
Oh, it is Meet the Fockers. Yeah,
okay.
It is.
Speaking of grass, Devin, you may like this. I got some new flip-flops in the mail. This is a putting green surface from Reef. They little golf ball leather going on right here, and then you can hold your tee. This is actually a golf tee.
Huh.
You can put it in there and everything. It's very convenient. And a bottle cap opener at the bottom.
You can't play golf in those though.
I might try.
I mean, Billy did it at one time.
Yeah, Billy did it, and he shot a 79.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah, dickhead. So, all right.
What up, Chris?
Chris is in the chat. The takeaways from the spring game. It's hard. You don't want to overreact, obviously, and I get all that shit.
It's spring game.
But quarterbacks, we have to talk about it.
Right.
I mean, it's the
rank them. Do it.
You want me to rank them?
Do it.
It's Max and 1 still.
Yeah.
Miles 2. Right now, I think you're still TJ 3, Nussmeier 4.
Mm-hmm. Just
But
because of the picks mainly.
yeah, it's
we got TJ's playing right now on this TV.
no.
But
You look,
he doesn't do anything that just wows me. And he
TJ.
Yeah,
He's just not accurate enough for me.
it's partially that, but he just doesn't look confident.
His arm strength is unreal.
Yeah, for sure.
But if he was accurate enough,
It's probably not a stronger arm in college football.
right?
Maybe
but
DJ Uyunglele.
But here's the difference: is Max Johnson throws a catchable ball, bro. Like he's got so much touch,
Yeah.
and he knows exactly where to put things. And I think with this offense and like a lot of these timing routes, he reminds me. This is a weird comparison, but he reminds me of Danny Werfel at Florida, where basically it was a lot of timing routes and he could put it right on the money. And I know Max wasn't accurate in that first half, but that second half he was just lights out.
Yeah. I actually watched the spring game for the first time today.
I do have some behind the scenes news that I've found out.
Oh, what's that?
Miles Brennan was not happy at all about not being a starter in this game.
Okay.
Was like upset, not happy, angry. And so some of the emotion that you saw out there was a lot of that. Like, cool. Fucking right. Yes, I'm supposed to be the starter.
Fucking
and like
love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
I love that there's a competition.
That was the most personality I think Miles Brennan has ever shown was that day.
Yep.
And it was he kind of picked up where he left off in the Missouri game, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean,
he was hot as hell in that game, and then he came out on Saturday and he was, he didn't have his best day, I wouldn't say, but
right.
I mean, he slung it pretty good.
I think the competition is the best thing to happen to him. So
yeah, I agree.
And actually for Max too, because I think Max is a confident guy as well, but he's probably not going to show like what Miles was showing on the field that day. But
it actually felt like the energy that Miles brought in that second quarter, you kind of saw Max match that energy in the third.
I thought
that was one of the coolest parts of the whole thing.
If Max wouldn't have looked as good as he did in that second half, then obviously the things would have changed. But
a big part for him looking good was Jontre stepped up.
Absolutely,
right there.
Oh, to me that's the second biggest thing of this whole spring game was the emergence of Jontre Kirkland.
Kirkland, and you want to talk about someone else that stepped up was I thought Dwight McLaughlin looked.
Oh,
awesome.
absolutely,
dude, he looked.
Jay Ward and
awesome.
Dwight McLaughlin are like, you know where that comes from? That Florida game, it was like that.
Yeah.
They were all over the fucking field.
And McLaughlin had a lot of he got beat a lot against Florida and against Ole Miss, but he also had a lot of really good plays.
Mm-hmm.
And on Saturday he was man to man with Kayshawn a lot. So I mean that's just tough.
I had a feeling
that's just a brutal assignment.
I had a feeling with Durante Jones coming in that these DBs were just and it was it's a different scheme, obviously,
and it's
loose. Yeah, and it's not as confusing. Like they understand what they need to be doing. Like you just needed a good fucking coach.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah,
like that's how bad the fucking coaching was.
Yeah, I mean, and like you almost don't even need a good coach. You just need one that's at the very least not going to get in the way.
Right.
And I think we can both agree that Durante Jones is at the very least not going to get in the way of these players.
Right.
I mean, scheme is yet to be seen, but we know that they're at least going to be flying around the field, which is huge.
Yeah,
I mean, we
absolutely.
had even with Dave Aranda, I didn't think that 2017 defense was that great in the secondary. I mean, you had, I guess, a freshman, Grant Delpit. Your best corner was Dante Jackson. You had Kevin Tolliver, who's I don't even think in the NFL anymore.
Right.
We weren't loaded with talent like we normally are that year. And that towards the end of that season, I mean, you think about the Auburn game, we shut them out for the last 3 quarters of that game. I thought that defense ended up being real good. And something I've been thinking the past few months is like why we all are saying like I just want the defense to be to just be good enough to let the offense succeed.
Well, that's how we were in 2019.
Why can't we just have an elite defense?
Yeah, I think we can do both.
Like, let's have an elite defense. Like,
yeah, but is there really anything call like an elite defense anymore.
Sure.
I mean,
Alabama last year.
they still gave up
It's
a
just
lot of
you.
stuff.
You have to think about elite defenses differently. I mean, they gave up.
I agree.
Alabama had the best defense in the country last year. You agree, right?
Yeah.
They give up 19 points a game. That's not normal.
Right.
That's just how it is, though. Now.
Right. A 20-point. Yeah, I agree with you.
Right.
I think people's thoughts of elite defense are different now than.
Yeah.
Well, I should say, some people will still bitch and complain with a 20-point per game defense. Because they don't know any better.
Right.
But I agree.
Not worried about people that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
I want a 30 to 20 average.
Yeah.
Like I think that's you're
10-1. 30's pretty high, but yeah.
For this offense?
Huh?
For this offense?
Yeah, 30's pretty high.
30?
30's pretty bad. 30's pretty bad defense.
No. 30 offense, 20 defense is what I'm saying.
Oh, wait.
If you can get to a 30 to 20 offense to defense ratio, like
I don't see any reason why this offense can't average 40 points a game.
I agree.
I don't know if
they're going to get to that level, but yeah, I agree with you. Like,
we average.
I think you need
32?
some. I think you need some. We didn't see all of our running backs, obviously.
Yeah.
We need some supplemental. Jonathan Kirkland balling out was great, but I think you need a little bit more. I want to see these young guys stepping in, especially the wide receivers.
Was Trey Palmer not there, or
he was out?
Okay,
he was out. In that
Coy
game.
Moore, I thought looked really good. He just didn't get the ball thrown to him too much.
The freshman wide receivers, you
Right.
haven't seen them yet.
Deion Smith was there, but he seemed to be pretty buried now.
So Chris Hilton,
and
Walker guy,
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, but the Walker kid, Brian Thomas.
Oh, right. Brian Thomas.
He's better than all
Brian
of them.
Thomas. Right, yeah.
Brian Thomas and Chris Hilton are your biggest wide receiver.
I've heard people say that Deion Smith might be better than any of them.
Well, that's great.
I think those three are all studs. And then
Jack Besh,
is
our guy.
a freak, too.
Our guy, Jack Besh. We had Jack Besh on. I want to get him back on again.
Something weird. Speaking of tight ends, Nick Storrs was the starting tight end. Did you notice that?
Well, I don't know where Cole Taylor was.
Cole Taylor played.
There's rumblings.
He didn't get in towards the end of the game.
There's rumblings from Jake Bambino, our favorite podcaster, about Eric Gilbert coming back again.
Right.
And
it's definitely possible.
It's possible. I think here's I want to. I'm looking at the camera, and I will just tell you right now, Eric Gilbert can come back all he wants. He probably. And when I say probably, it's probably like 90%. He will not be fucking eligible this year. He won't. I know too much about it.
I think it'll be a half season. I really do. Knowing what we know, I think that man right there, Coach O, is going to figure out a way to make it a half season.
Well, that's fine. I don't want people to have these expectations that he's just going to come walk on campus and then he's going to be starting first game of the season. It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of hurdles that he has to go through if he comes back here.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I do just, I think it's interesting though that Nick Storrs is a starter. Right when I saw that, I was like, man.
Yeah, I saw him call it catch first pass. I didn't know if it was a rotation deal or what.
But still, I was just thinking like, shit, Jack Besh is really just going to come in and start.
Yeah. Now, he'll be more like an H-back role, like where he'll be out in the slot and things like that. That's what I see out of Jack Besh. But,
if that's our best tight end, like Jack Besh is a million times better as a receiver.
Here's what I took away from even the first drive of the game, that the offensive sets are back.
Yeah.
The 2019 offense is back.
Motion with the running backs.
2020.
So much motion
I don't know
with the running backs.
Who decided that it was in our best interest to change anything that we did in 2019.
Right.
But obviously we did. It wasn't like drastic changes or anything like that, but it was just like subtle changes that you could just tell that were going to make us less explosive. Now it's back. You can kind of see that. You got your bunch sets, you got the motion, you can kind of see if they're man-to-man, your zone. You got guys going out. I didn't see hardly any. I think I saw one 6-man protection. Other than that, I saw no 7-man protection.
Yeah,
Um,
but
I know offensive
that's-
line could be an issue.
offensive line is an issue, but I think the reason there was no 7-man protection is because there was no blitzing.
Right.
There's-
Well,
I-
that was my other thing.
Next time I watch, I'm actually going to go and I'm going to write down every single time they blitz. I bet
Well,
you
they
I can
didn't,
count it on one hand.
but I think they said that they weren't going to blitz this
Like
game.
at all?
Yeah.
Oh,
So there was a lot of 4-man rushes.
Right.
We were still getting beat on 4-man rushes.
Look at that pressure, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
We would have some pressure on a 4-man rush.
Yeah.
Where a quarterback would have to step up, and there was a couple of times where they blew it dead.
Yeah.
Nussmeier was one where I remember where they blew it dead, and he made this fucking killer throw to the sideline. Do you remember that one?
Oh, I do remember that.
Oh, my
And
God.
It was just.
I was like, oh, hello.
The guy was out of bounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Holy shit, man.
Welcome to college football, Garrett Nussmeier.
The Baker Mayfield comparisons.
That's great. Baker Mayfield.
I felt it on that one.
I haven't seen the Johnny Manziel quite yet, but
they were saying Johnny Manziel.
he
on the
said
TV.
Johnny Manziel.
I was
I
like,
know.
calm down, guys.
I know. Chill out.
I think that was actually they took that from Coach O though. I think Coach O said that too.
Yeah.
Which, also, Coach O, chill out.
But defensively, I had nothing but positives. You're getting off the field, you're getting turnovers, you're getting some pressure on the quarterback, and I know that you can get more because they didn't show any fucking blitzes.
Right.
So I know you can get more.
Right.
You had Jared Small was a starting linebacker.
You have no idea how happy that made me.
I know
see
you're a big
Jared play
Cadillac guy, so
holy shit.
We're trying to get Jared on the podcast.
Yeah. Apparently, we got to reach out to. We can't talk to the players.
I know we can't talk to the players anymore. We have to. LSU shutting us down. Cody Warsham. He's just such a ball buster. Cody.
Assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was awesome to see Jared, and then he got the interception. I thought he was going to return it, but
yeah. So you're missing Bug Strong, who will probably be your starter.
You're missing Bug.
You're also missing Mike Jones
and Elias Ricks.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I completely forgot about Mike Jones.
Yeah, Mike Jones is going to be starting probably.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're close to loaded here,
dude. This defense is sick.
I agree. And we really didn't see much of Mason Smith.
No, not much. I think he's going to be a starter, though.
You think he's starting?
I think he's a starter.
I mean, there's a lot of hype around this kid.
I think the two guys that were starting will not be the two starters. It was Glenn Logan and Neil Farrell. I think it's gonna be Mason.
That is
Smith.
tough.
I think it's gonna be Mason Smith and Jaquelin Roy.
Man, that's fucking tough for a guy like Glenn Logan. He could have gone to the draft. Like I don't know if he would have been drafted, but like maybe low,
like a 5th, 6th.
Still, he would have been
drafted.
drafted.
No, he would have been drafted.
What happens if he doesn't start this year?
Really don't think he's gonna start this year. Really don't think. I just don't see how he can fend off Mason Smith.
I mean,
that dude's a freak.
Yeah, but have we seen anything of is this one of those hype machines this year? This is like the hype machine of 2021. The Mason Smith hype machine.
I just think this
last year was Miles Brennan.
This is the first time I can remember us having like a defensive tackle like this since Glenn Dorsey.
Yeah, but even as a freshman, Glenn Dorsey wasn't like the man.
Sure, but I just mean like a guy that's a defensive tackle that's going to be a first-round pick. Like if he doesn't battle injuries.
Yeah.
And even Glenn Dorsey battled injuries. That's how good Glenn Dorsey was. But,
yeah. Glenn Dorsey may have been better as a junior than a senior.
Mason Smith just reminds me of like every single starting Alabama defensive lineman for the past 10 years.
Yeah, but some of those guys don't actually for defensive line, some of those guys don't actually hit the field in a heavy level until the sophomore junior
year. But that's
year.
because Alabama has millions of those.
Yeah, that goes back to our roster management questions of like, why the fuck does Alabama have all these guys that can stick around?
Because Alabama recruits better.
Well, they pay more too
on the defensive line and offensive line. Yeah, I mean they pay better, right? Yeah.
I am opening our Old Forester Statesman right now, guys. 95 proof. I had to restock my little bar in the office right now.
If you're an opposing QB, who are you throwing at, Ricks or Stingley?
Whew.
I guess you got to throw at Nudie.
What was that?
McLaughlin.
That's his name?
Yeah, his nickname's Nudie.
Nudie? We'll ask him why. I
guess
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd figure out if Flott's on the field, I'd throw at him.
That's right. You need to go to the slot.
Right.
Line up your receiver, kind of like how they did with Devontae Smith. Just line them up in the slot to where you can get around all of them.
Right.
And hopefully, Bo Pelini's coaching the defense, so
right. Exactly.
Yeah, nobody can make fucking adjustments on that or anything.
I mean, did you see any of that Alabama?
Oh
spring
man,
game?
God! I just mentioned Bo Pelini and I want to drink this whole bottle. Let me take a sip. Bo Pelini. Here you go.
What would the Bo Pelini Club be like based on?
The Bo Pelini.
Sit on my couch club.
Bo Pelini Tequila Club. Throw Up Club. So yeah, I thought we looked far and away better on defense.
Yeah,
and it was just so obvious at midway in the game. I'm just like, that's just.
I feel so much
all
better.
2020
now.
was just terrible coaching, terrible communication.
Yeah,
you've completely whiffed with the players, and now here you are. You've picked up the pieces, so you could see a 2019, and I can say this even after the fucking spring game. 2019 to 2020 was like one of the biggest. What do you say?
Cliffs.
Yeah, I mean downfalls of a program.
Right.
And now you're going to see 2020 to 2021 as one of the up climbs, like one of the biggest like improvements of a team from 5-5. I mean, I could see us. I predicted us. I sent the one team and go check out one team, guys. We're starting a new brand here, so I did a SEC rankings based on like some post spring results, and I think that we're second in the SEC prediction wise, behind Alabama still.
I think so too.
Bryce Young looks fantastic.
I think we're a legit top 10 team.
Bryce Young,
you
were all on the Bryce Young hype train last year.
Last year, right? Dude,
and I watched the spring game.
You thought he looked really good?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got all the skills.
I thought he looked good. I didn't think he looked polished, though. I was surprised about that after he's been there for a year.
You think he just needs more snaps?
Yeah. I was surprised. And then, dude, if he gets hurt, I don't know what the hell they're going to do after him, because I thought that, I forget his name, Kyle something, the second guy, I thought he looked terrible.
Really?
Yeah, he just looks like
I didn't watch him after.
flat-footed and just terrible. Like their QB room looks very, very weak.
I think this guy looks like a complete package, Bryce Young. Like he's fluid.
He's a freak athlete.
He's fluid. He can run. He can throw. He's got a killer arm.
He's like a Kyler Murray type of guy.
I agree. I like that comparison a lot. Yeah. Maybe not as fast, obviously. As
not
Kyler,
not as fast. But yeah, he's similar size and all that.
Yeah. And he can whip it.
I mean, if we're being honest, he's a right-handed Tua. Like that's what he is.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's maybe a little faster, probably a little shorter.
Without the knee injuries.
Right. Well.
Yeah.
Don't speak too soon. We still have hope.
The Bo Pelini Irish Cream Club. Yeah. It's cream, some kind of cream. I don't know. I don't know if it's Irish. What is Pelini? Is he Italian? Is Bear Bryant's grandson bad? Yeah. So he's the third stringer, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I don't know if he's very good. I think he's a true freshman, if I remember right.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Oh, some Bryant.
I don't think it's Bryant.
Oh, okay.
Well, it might be. I don't know.
Could be.
But I liked Bryce Young. Now looking at some of the other teams, you got Texas A&M. People are really high on A&M again. New quarterback. I just don't see it. Like running game, you're gonna have a good running game. Isaiah Spiller's still there.
Yeah.
Good offensive line, because you usually do. I don't know if they're going to be explosive enough to keep up with some of these teams.
Who's their quarterback?
I don't even know who the second string quarterback is. But
who's the starting quarterback?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know who was behind Kellen Mond.
Yeah. I don't either.
Auburn, Bo Nix is still there. New coach. I actually like this coach, Brian Harsin.
I actually meant to go watch their spring game. I'm going to do.
I know. I need to do that as well. I think Auburn is actually a step ahead of A&M at this point because they're returning the quarterback. And I know it's Bryce Young. I mean, Bryce Young. They wish they had Bryce Young. It's Bo Nix.
Right.
But I still think that is better than what A&M can give them.
Dark horses. I think Ole Miss could finish third.
I
in the
agree.
SEC.
I agree.
In the West.
And so I posted this. I have Mississippi State last in the SEC West. Can you hear?
My headphones went out.
Oh, I don't know why.
You can hear out of yours though.
Yeah, I can hear them. Man.
Great.
Mississippi State, I had them last in the West.
Yeah, I agree with that. I saw what you said about Leach.
Yes, I think he's dog shit, and I think that the LSU game was the only game.
Defensive coordinator? Do we know?
Did they fire the defensive coordinator?
No. Did they keep him? He was really good. I mean, they had a really good defense.
Oh no, he was shopping jobs.
Right, I know, but did he stay?
I don't
did he
know
end
if
up
he
staying?
went back. I don't know for sure. But I think that
Paul Tyson. Oh, Tyson. That's the guy I was talking about. That's the second string guy.
Oh, so he's shit.
I thought he looked fucking garbage.
Well, he's a freshman. I think he's a true freshman, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, I don't know, but I thought he looked terrible. They were giving him second string reps. Yeah, I didn't think he looked good at all.
Mississippi State. People were chiming in on me whenever I posted that this week that Mississippi State was.
I saw a bunch of Mississippi State fans were on there or something.
Not necessarily, but they were basically saying that ESPN had put out their FPI saying that Mississippi State was in the top 10. And I'm like, what? Yes. If that doesn't show you right there what the ESPN FPI is.
I've had so many problems with the
It's
FPI.
so terrible. It's so ridiculous. Huey says it's his second year. So
second year? Okay. So he's a redshirt freshman.
Well, he's shit, Huey.
Yeah, he's garbage.
But yeah, FPI had Mississippi State top 10, which what a joke.
FPI always finishes with like the stupidest shit at the end of the year.
Like, where does that come from?
You remember? I think LSU after we won the championship, Ohio State was still number 1 in the FPI.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like stupid ass fucking shit like that. Like just makes no sense.
It wasn't always that bad. Something's happened.
I've always thought it has been that bad. It's
I
always wacky ass shit like that. It's like there's a lot of Big Ten bias in there. There's a lot of maybe it's not Big Ten bias, but it's more recruiting bias because there's ESPN recruiting rankings are
that's right, they're crazy
molded into there.
Yeah.
So Alabama has a bunch of 5 stars. Alabama could go 6-6 next year, and they'll still be a top 10 team in the country.
Yeah, so Mississippi State being top 10, like that's fucking ridiculous.
Right.
So I have them dead last. I have Arkansas better than them.
The OTPI is a better metric than the FPI, and it doesn't even exist.
Is that us?
Yeah, that's ours.
The OTPI, OTOPI.
I actually have a business idea with Andy.
Okay.
And so actually,
Andy, speaking of 420. Anderson Powers did our
he did our
theme music
theme
here,
music and the
bump music that we did
that we started with today. Yeah, and
big 420 guy.
I probably shouldn't say it because I don't want someone to steal our business's idea.
Oh,
but
I'm sure it's not good enough.
Yeah, no, it's not. So like basically we take the weather. And if it's an outdoor event, like we use the weather and we say like, okay, but there's going to be rain or something like that, or it's going to be crosswinds and things like that. And like you take the weather and then you create your own. It's like a betting site, basically. But our numbers, they all factor in the weather. See what I'm saying?
You don't think Vegas does this already?
I doubt they do it to like a super serious extent. Maybe they do. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the overs and unders are
okay.
For sure.
I don't know.
I think that was a bullshit business proposal. What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat. That was terrible.
Jesus.
Is this your elevator pitch? Okay, so other thing that's going on today is we got a new basketball commitment.
Right.
Will Wade is
Transfer.
Grabbing freshmen. It sounds like he's going after guys that still have a couple of years of eligibility.
Right. Smart.
And today he grabbed the forward from Cincinnati, Tari Eason.
Eason. Right.
6'8" guy, 215. Good body on him. I saw a couple of highlights after because I didn't really know who he was, but you've seen him play. But
just that one game.
Averaged 7 and 6 as a freshman.
Right.
I liked that.
Right. I watched that game, and then I just assumed because that was the only Cincinnati game I ever saw.
Tulane.
The Tulane game.
Okay.
And I just assumed that was the best player on their team. It turns out that was like his career best game. But,
right.
Yeah, no, I think we got a real good rebounder with him.
I agree.
Freak athlete, another freak athlete. I don't know how much he really brings scoring wise, but I think in the game I watched, I thought he showed a lot of like potential as a scorer.
I saw from some of the highlights that I saw like an SMU game and I saw another game on YouTube, but very active on the defensive end and then very active on the offensive end with like rebounding, and there was a lot of second chance points that he was grabbing. And his hands were very active, especially as a freshman. And obviously he's tall and he's got some length. I think it's a great addition.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think he's probably not as good on the defensive end as Josh LeBlanc, but he's actually better on the offensive end by far than Josh LeBlanc. But it's still mostly, to me, it's mostly like it's going to be second chance points.
He's an inch or two taller too. Oh boy.
What was that?
Your kitty knocked down my headphones.
Okay. We got some cat problems. It's just another day in the office.
Speaking of the office.
Yeah. Speaking of the office, it's the Office episode of the week. It's the Office episode of the week. So, Office episode of the week.
I don't know what you just heard. What did you all just hear?
It was the intro to The Office.
Oh, yeah.
So, hopefully we're still on YouTube.
I wasn't sure if you played an Office clip or something.
No. It was just that. The Office episode of the week. Brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage. So, the Office episode of the week is, you said
2 weeks.
It's called 2 weeks.
It's called 2 weeks. Right.
This is when Michael Scott gives his 2 weeks notice.
Right. It's season 5, episode 19.
Yeah. The episode prior ends with "You don't know how high I can fly." And so this episode is those guys. The guys in the office are asking Michael, "What did he say?" And he's like, "You don't know how high I can fly." And they're like, "Really? That's it? That's what you said?" And like, you didn't spit in his face or anything like that?
I guess I didn't think of it as much as you guys.
Yeah, you guys. It sounds like you guys have thought about this a lot. All right. So, what were your favorite moments of that episode?
Well, I mean, obviously, Scotch and Splenda.
Yeah. I posted that today. So, tastes like Splenda.
Tastes like Splenda. Get you drunk like Scotch.
Yeah.
Right.
Best of both worlds.
And then obviously that's the episode where he comes up with the idea to make the Michael Scott Paper Company.
Right.
Our
trivia question.
Okay.
Do you remember the website that he went to first before to look for jobs?
Damn,
he goes in his office and he's looking for a job on a website.
That is like the kind of trivia question they ask at the office trivia.
Yes.
It's like that tough. Man, that is. I don't know. All
right. So he goes in his office, and all you see is him in his office, and like it's out in like the lobby area, and you hear roar, and Jim goes, "It's monster.com, not monsters.com." It's perfect.
Okay, I do remember that now.
If anybody has any one-liners from that Office episode, please send them our way.
Please put them in the chat.
Yeah, so that was also where he was trying to sneak the. I've thought about this. So if you're at a company and you're leaving, and you want to get the forms and everything,
Right.
he was trying to steal all the forms
Right.
so you can have like the actual forms and like change the
He's gonna love
the header to him
he's
or
gonna
whatever.
put the
logo.
Yeah, change the logo and the names on top of it with white out and all that. Right.
Oh, one of my favorite parts is when he's looking for jobs and he's like, "Oh, I got a couple of offers or a couple of places that I know I can call." And the first one is Prince Paper Company, who he put out of business. And it's like, "Oh, we're no longer in business." And he crosses them
they're
out.
They're crying the whole time too.
Yeah, and he crosses them out. And then underneath it, well, I don't remember what was underneath his. He had a couple of like options.
We gotta go find that. What
I know. We need to find out what that was. But that's the Office episode of the week.
Started playing
2 weeks. Oh, look, LSU.
Alabama,
So
2019.
what is this on?
This is YouTube.
This is YouTube. So that was the next game on the after the spring game was 2019 LSU Bama.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, well there you go. That'll cheer me up.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that,
it's gonna make me feel a lot worse about Max Johnson.
Well, I don't. All right, so Burrow doesn't have the arm that even Brennan has, right?
Sure.
Brennan had a stronger arm.
Sure.
And I think we can probably even say that Max Johnson may have the weakest of the arm out of the 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, I'd say he does.
But I think accuracy is something that he's going to be really good at, and I like the way he leads receivers and he gets guys open, stuff like that. And I think that's something that Burrow was doing. I think he can run out of the pocket, which Burrow could do. We've seen Miles Brennan try, and that is just not his game.
And then he
whatsoever.
He got an injury so bad
that they have to name it after Miles Brennan.
How many times did they fucking say that on the broadcast?
Man, I'm just tired of it.
Okay. Speaking of the broadcast, I didn't know how much I didn't like Tom Luganville.
Oh yeah, he's terrible.
He's awful. Dude,
I've seen him do
cliche after cliche.
Yeah.
He didn't know half the players' fucking names.
He's a big recruiting guy, and usually he's really good at the sideline reporting. I don't like him as a
color commentator
guy by any means.
I thought it was terrible. Dude, it was unbearable to watch.
Yeah. So I think Max Johnson actually compares better to Burrow than any of the other quarterbacks do.
Sure.
He's still a sophomore.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I think
my bigger questions are I think Max is your guy.
I agree. I'm with you there.
My bigger questions are, what does Brennan do? Like, say we get to the fall and you name Max the guy. Does Brennan transfer? Is he's technically a senior, right? Or is he going to be able to take a junior year?
This is his redshirt senior year, and so he has 2 years left.
He can't take a junior year from what he did last year?
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Technically, he's a junior. Technically, he's a redshirt junior. No, that's not right. No, technically, he's a redshirt senior, and he'll have the option to play a second senior year.
Okay.
It's so confusing.
I know. It's very confusing. It's going to be even more confusing as we go along.
Right.
So
everybody has at least 5 years. This is just what you have to remember. And if they take a red shirt, then they have six now.
Or if they get injury red shirt,
except for the guys that are true freshmen right now.
Which is so weird.
They only have 5.
I know.
Which they're the ones who got fucked over more than anybody.
They did. So I still think there's going to be a guy that blows up, and we'll have to revisit this maybe a year from now. There's going to be a guy that goes so far under the radar that wasn't highly recruited.
Yeah.
Maybe out of like California, because California didn't play fucking football at all.
A specific guy actually came to mind right when you said that. He came from California, was Cole Lord. that ended up going to Texas.
Yeah, that big quarterback.
And
and
LSU tried
everybody
to jump on him at the last second, right?
And he didn't even play his senior year of football.
Right.
Nobody knows anything about him.
Right. He's a 3-star, but yet Texas and LSU and
all these big
couple
schools
other
started
real
going
big
after
schools
him.
were like going real hard after Cole Lord.
There's going to be a few of those guys this year that
right.
they're just going to go under the radar because they didn't get to play football their senior year and they developed from junior to now.
Right.
And you didn't know it.
It's going to be very interesting to see how the guys that didn't play, how much they developed. And it's actually, I'm hoping that they didn't develop too much because that could turn into like opting out for your junior year could turn into a real thing.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Right.
Like let's say Jamar Chase comes out next year and he's just so much better than he was even his sophomore year.
They would actually
when he was
see
the Biletnikoff.
Right.
They would, a lot of guys would be like, okay, well, look at how much that benefited him. Maybe I need to make that same decision. What's his face? Joey Bosa did the same thing. That turned out pretty well for him too, I would say. He still ended up being a top 5 pick.
Right.
Jamar Chase is still going to end up being a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I think there's only select guys that can kind of do this though.
Sure, but it takes away from college football. If a guy says, "Okay, I'm guaranteed to be a top 5 pick this year," I'm just gonna take it easy.
Yeah.
Go work out.
I think the only guy that can do that this year for LSU would be Derek Stingley.
Yeah.
But I still don't know if I think he's got something to prove after last year.
Yeah, last year was a good year for him.
Right. I think there's some dollars to be made. So
and I mean, prove that he can stay healthy.
And you're going to see like in this year's draft, we hadn't really talked about the draft too much, but
oh yeah, it's in a week.
Yeah, the draft is so quarterback heavy right now that
it's stupid too.
A cornerback, say you're the top cornerback in the draft next year. I don't know what the quarterback draft is going to look like next year, but a cornerback coming out in the draft, I don't know where you're at. I don't know. I'm assuming you're top 10. I don't know if you're top 5.
Number 1 corner this year is mocked to go number 10 overall. It's Patrick Surtain.
Right, and he's a beast.
Right, he's stud. All right. Stingley might be a little better than him.
Might be.
But, yeah, I don't know. And that's actually Surtain was projected to be the first defensive player off the board at 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. This is supposed to be a very crazy, like offensive heavy year,
right?
At least on the top end, and I just don't think quarterbacks are as valuable as they're drafted.
I think they're just taking their shots,
right?
They're finding guys that, I mean,
is Justin Fields really worthy of the 3rd overall, or Mac Jones might even go 3rd overall?
Trey Lance?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Like those are the ones where I'm like, I don't know about this.
Right. Like Trey Lance over.
You already see Carson Wentz. What happened to him?
Right. I mean, but Carson Wentz was good. He just had injury problems. And I guess he ended up sucking this year. This year he was just fucking terrible. But I don't know. Yeah, Trubisky.
Yeah, Trubisky.
That's the first thing that comes to mind with Mac Jones if they take him at 3.
I don't know. I actually like Mac Jones.
I like Mac Jones. Yeah, I like Mac Jones.
I think Mac Jones has played at a high enough level to be worth that pick. I think that a guy like Trey Lance as a 3,
right,
Justin Fields at least has played in a high level, and he's got the potential.
He's had some stinkers the past couple of years. Like, I mean, I remember he had like 100 yards passing against Northwestern.
Yeah.
He just had some really strange games, so inconsistent. I mean, yeah, he had like real good moments, like semifinal game against Clemson this year. I think he threw for 500 yards or something like that. So definitely there's the potential there. But I don't know. Like, would you take him or would you take Penei Sewell or Jamar Chase?
Right.
I think I'd take one of those guys.
Yeah.
Guys that I know are absolute studs.
Speaking of, you get
Penei
to
Sewell might be a future Hall of Famer.
Well, speaking of, you get to the Cincinnati pick. Was that 5th?
Yeah.
We just saw Joe Burrow with the
scar.
uniform where he's got a scar on his knee.
From the kneecap to the bottom of his shin.
I think we would all love to see Jamar Chase go to Cincinnati.
Right, but if they have an opportunity to get Penei Sewell and
you need
pass up on that,
you need offensive linemen.
Yeah,
I mean, it's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, go get some guys in free agency to be wide receivers.
I saw a drawing. It was of so it had Joe Burrow, Penei Sewell, and then random receiver, and like Penei Sewell blocks, and then Joe Burrow throws it to any receiver, and the ball gets to any receiver. It doesn't say whether or not he catches it, and then it says Joe Burrow, random offensive tackle, Jamar Chase, and then it has the random tackle doesn't make the block. Joe Burrow gets sacked. The ball gets fumbled. And then Jamar Chase is just standing over here by himself. And I thought that was just such a perfect representation.
He doesn't do anything for protection.
You have to get offensive line.
Right.
And actually, I don't understand why people feel like they need wide receivers. They got T. Higgins. They got Tyler Boyd.
It depends on
That's not bad.
Yeah, but what are you doing in free agency? Are you getting offensive linemen? If you're going to get offensive linemen in free agency, you can take the chance.
Yeah, but you can't just go get a stud offensive lineman in free agency.
Yeah, if you have the money, you can.
I guess so, but
the thing is,
but you can also get them at the number 5 overall pick.
Yeah, you can,
and you have that. And you can go get receivers in free agency. They're all over the place in free agency.
Right.
I just don't see why Cincinnati is like. They're not like their skill positions are good. They got Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon.
Yeah,
that's a really good trio.
Right there. Yep.
And then Joe Burrow makes them all better.
Yeah, and I think that the fact that Joe Burrow is on that rookie deal that helps them for a few years to get to the level that they need to get to. Yeah, you gotta. That's why I'm like. Go get some guys in free agency if you're not going to draft them. Yeah. If you want to draft Jamar Chase, that's fine. But if you're not getting an offensive lineman, it don't really matter.
Right. I saw someone say that if they don't get an offensive lineman this offseason, Joe Burrow should sue them for.
That's bold.
I can't remember what for. But
call Dejan Law office if you do that. Again, huge shout out to our sponsors. What else is going on?
We talked about basketball.
Baseball, we have Ole Miss. We're going to go to Swayze Field, and we're about to hit a buzzsaw.
Arkansas's coming here next week?
Yep.
What do we need to do these next 2 weeks? We need to go 2-4, you would say, probably?
I would...
If you can go 1-5, I'd be pretty impressed.
I mean, I think if you could... I hate to say...
2-4 is probably...
2-4 is probably realistic. I think if you got to 3-3, it's a home run.
If you fucking get to 3-3, I'm gonna feel real good.
If you can win one series, it's like an absolute home run.
Yeah, sure.
I think you have to win one game of each series. If you don't win one game of each series, your season is completely done. You're not going to get a regional.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of what I'm banking on at this point, anyway.
Right.
I think you're not going to get a regional. That's my prediction right now. Is you're not going to get to a regional. Paul Maneri is they're going to part ways, whatever you want to call it.
Thank the Lord.
And my pick is probably Jake Gautreaux from Mississippi State.
No.
And possibly Andy Cannizaro as your hitting coach.
Hey, I do think we could win 2 of these games these next 2 weeks.
2, maybe.
Yeah. I just think Landon Marceau is just so fucking good.
I'm telling you, I wish they would move Marceau to Sunday.
You think he might be like the 3rd best pitcher in the SEC?
Might be. He's got the worst record.
Behind the 2
was he 3-3 right
pitchers?
Now?
Yeah, something
he's
like that.
3-3 overall.
Right.
Fucking killer ERA.
He's given up like 3 runs.
Like all year. It's so ridiculous.
And just happens those 3 runs were just enough to lose those games.
Right. Yeah, so I think that Ole Miss is a buzzsaw. So coming off of the Mississippi State series loss, going to Ole Miss, it's a buzzsaw. It's a fucking buzzsaw. who's their Saturday guy? Ben McDonald talked about this at Ole Miss. Yeah, he was Doug Nikhazy. I think this is what his name is. I forget his name, but he was like the SEC pitcher of the week last week.
Oh, okay.
He shut down Mississippi State. I think it was like a 1-hitter, 2-hitter against Mississippi State. That's the guy you're facing on Saturday.
Gotcha.
So they have another guy out on Friday who's going to be like a first, second round pick that you're also going to have to play against. So they have two studs Friday, Saturday.
Right.
At Swayze, which
so we can maybe get a hit on Sunday.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. That's why I'm like, if Marceau doesn't completely shut out Ole Miss,
right?
I don't know if you can win.
Right.
I don't know if you can win the game.
Man.
It's
and then like, how long can he go though?
I don't know.
Because like you're still not going to get hits.
Yeah. Like
you got to wait for them to put somebody else in, and hopefully you hit them.
It's so depressing this year.
Yeah. No, it's brutal.
Like, I mean, Marceau can go 7, and then you got Fontenot and Edwards, and it's like Fontenot's been inconsistent. He's got great stuff. He's just been inconsistent.
Yeah.
People are hitting him.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know how you can do it. It reminds me of Les Miles' time of football, where our defense had to always play perfect to win the game. This is how our baseball team is this year. If our pitching staff doesn't completely shut you out.
Except the difference is that like our defense had to play perfect and very often did play perfect.
Yes.
In this case, our defense needs to play perfect and very often is not playing perfect.
No.
And you give up if you give up 9 runs to South Carolina, 9-0 is
9-0.
That's a loss.
Yeah. Which side of the ball do you want to complain about?
Right. Exactly.
And that's why I always talk about with Facebook fans. There's different fans. There's Twitter fans, there's Instagram fans, and there's Facebook fans.
Right.
Facebook fans are completely unreasonable.
Right.
They're absolutely unreasonable.
Are any of them reasonable?
Not really, but Facebook is even worse than all the
what
other
about
ones.
Tiger droppings? Where do they fall?
Tiger droppings? That's close to Facebook.
It's kind of the same guys.
Similar.
It's the same Facebook guys, but they're anonymous.
Yeah, they're like,
So
we need a hitting coach.
they're
like,
anonymous, so they're
we
a little
gave
bit
up
more
9
racist.
runs. We gave up 9 runs. The bullpen's terrible.
Right.
Well, we need a pitching coach. Well, we got shut out. So it's always one or the other with those guys.
Right.
And it's like, dude, I can't talk to you at all.
No. And it's all confirmation bias is what I've noticed. Is that like anything Paul Maneri says, like he'll say a quote and I'll be like, it's fine, I don't care. And then someone will say this is exactly what he said. He said something about Helmer's like doesn't have he's still working on some of his
working on
his second pitch or something like that.
He doesn't have a second pitch.
It's just like a work in progress. And then I saw someone right under that said like, "Oh, well, you're really not helping him out with his confidence, Paul." And it's like, what are you talking about? If we were winning, you would be like, "Oh, Paul Maneri, he's so in tune with what the players need."
You know what I'm finding out more about Facebook fans more than anything is the Kim Mulkey argument. I'm a full supporter of bringing Kim Mulkey into Baton Rouge.
Right.
My concern, my question is, I don't know if Scott Woodward's going to spend $2.5 million to bring Kim Mulkey to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I think he should bring Kim Mulkey to Baton Rouge, and he should pay the money. I think it was a PR home run to bring Kim Mulkey to Baton Rouge.
Right.
First of all, I think that it would turn a loss moneymaker into a net zero,
at least, right?
Bottom line. I think she could do that for you. And I think that she could actually help with other women's sports as far as like building those up. Right. I think the whole Title IX thing.
It would show that you give a fuck about your women's sports.
Well, they do about gymnastics.
Right. Not that you don't give a fuck about your women's sports, but it would show that you're working for your women's sports.
So here's some of my here's some of the things that I've talked to Facebook fans about. And this is the Facebook fans. They are like adamant. They're old. The Facebook fans are old school, traditional. and they say, okay, well, it's women's basketball. Oh, Jamar Chase
my
just
balls, Trayvon Diggs.
Jesus Christ, that's the first round pick right there. Facebook fans are the traditional guys who say, well, LSU women's basketball doesn't make any money.
Yeah, because
and
they suck.
Yeah. Well, they're
they
a
wouldn't be
losing
anymore.
program,
Right.
and they have been a losing program. Even when we were good, they were a losing program. So why would we spend $2.5 million to Kim Mulkey for this? This is where I agree with Jake Bambino. You hear that? Jake Bambino, I agree with you on this. I think that we should spend the money, and why do you think Baylor spends the money?
Right.
Why do you think UConn spends the money they spend on Gino Auriemma?
Right.
It's because they see the profit in a different way.
Right.
It may not be exactly to women's basketball, but it's so much of a attention span to women's athletics that they are winning.
Right.
Gymnastics. We lose money in gymnastics. Yet a couple of years ago, we spent $15 million on the facilities for gymnastics.
Right.
They're practice facilities.
Right.
They're not even like, we don't even use those facilities to do our events in. I know. It's crazy. This happens all day long. We don't even use those facilities to do events in. The events actually happen in the PMAC, which needs to be renovated.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm completely with you. Don't even get me started on
So
fucking PMAC.
our problems with Kim Mulkey.
What do you think? What do you think would be more like better money wise? The gymnastics or women's basketball? If women's basketball was on the same level as gymnastics
what?
is. Women's gymnastics.
No, but
like,
what about it?
Just like in terms of revenue.
What, like spending money towards the facilities?
No. Like how much money the program would make back to you.
Oh, women's basketball.
For sure. Right. Okay.
It's not even close.
I agree with you.
Like the expenses and the expenses coming out of gymnastics and women's basketball aren't even close. And I think I saw that on like a report. I was pulling up a couple of these things whenever we were talking about Kim Mulkey, but what I think should happen is you hire Kim Mulkey. You obviously have an interest in an investment into gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, if you hire Kim Mulkey and she's making $2.5 million, Will Wade's making $2.5 million.
Right.
You're going to have to make an investment towards Will Wade. It's put up or shut up time for Will Wade. You need to put the money towards Will Wade and extend him, just like fucking Auburn did with Bruce Pearl, and just like how Kansas did with Bill Self. Extend him and say, fuck you, NCAA. We're extending this guy, and we're going to pay him the money, just like all these other schools are doing, even though they have problems. And just say, screw you, we're going to do it. But then you take all of those three events, so women's basketball, men's basketball, and gymnastics, all use the PMAC. Let's put some money towards the PMAC.
Yeah, I'm so down. I actually had an idea. Like, what if we just tore down that piece of shit golf course that's over there?
Oh my God.
Turn that into
I think some of y'all that follow me on Twitter, you saw that I posted that.
Right.
Like I went to that fucking golf course. I can't believe I went there.
Just get rid of that piece of garbage and then build a new like fucking.
I don't think they'll ever build a new facility. I think they'll just upgrade, kind of like how the Superdome is. Like they'll just upgrade.
Yeah, I just don't like that. I think the PMAC is just all around outdated. I think the way it even looks on the outside just looks fucking terrible.
Every time I mention Kim Mulkey on Facebook, I get the PMAC needs to be upgraded, and even Alex Box needs to be upgraded.
Alex Box,
and
I mean, I guess it's not as good as like the Mississippi State and the Arkansas or whatever, but
hearing who was it? Hunt Palmer today. Hunt Palmer was on Jordy Collada's show today.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And he was talking about Alex Box. And he said Oh, I'm texting my wife. Sorry. I get a text every now and then like this, and it says, "We are out of money." Like, no, we're not out. Something happened with your debit card. I don't know sure what. But so I know, I'm like, great. So I had to check our Capital One account real quick.
Okay.
So Hunt Palmer was on, and he said, Alex Box is outdated compared to Mississippi State
specifically.
Ole Miss.
Right.
It doesn't have the same ambiance.
Yeah.
And I think it's not outdated. It's just like not as college friendly.
Yeah. It doesn't have all the same amenities as those do. Is that right?
Yep.
I know Mississippi State. I mean, I feel like the biggest thing that the stadium is missing is bricks. It doesn't have bricks. I love how Mississippi State has all the. They just there's a lot of bricks.
You know what I think
it just makes
it
look so good.
Is get rid of these fucking like metal bleachers in the outfield.
Yeah, the metal bleachers.
And do something different.
Right.
Ole Miss has got to burn.
Right.
Obviously, Mississippi State has got like the left field lounge kind of
Right.
situation.
Right.
Like that's been there forever.
Right.
That's
their thing.
Do something
right?
different.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what's needed more than anything. My wife just came home. She just slammed the door. May have to wrap this up. All right, so let's wrap it up.
Okay. Let's do that.
I value my marriage. All right, guys, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Check out our sponsors. We really appreciate all of those guys. Bank of England Mortgage, you see them right here at my crotch level.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Michelson, check them out. Refis, mortgages, please reach out to Bank of England Mortgage. We would really, really appreciate that. Also, we got Bear Process Safety. We got Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette. He's got crazy good deals on Denali's right now. You need to check it out. Really low interest rates as well. We got Bogies. We have Ether Insurance.
Yep.
And we have Relief Pools. Check all those guys out. We would really appreciate it. Again, so we're going to be doing some bourbon reviews later this week. I think I'm going to get with Durante Jones. Just liked a Twitter post, so I'm going to give him a holler. We'll see if we can hook up with him. Maybe get to Stabs later this week.
Sweet.
And I'll let you know whenever that happens. And we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. It has been one team, one podcast.
Oh wait, actually, I'm going to the.
Wait, I just did the thing.
You turned it on?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to the Zurich Classic this weekend. By the way, I'll probably do some videos.
I was supposed to have tickets to that, and I got.
Yeah, they're only $35 for it. I'm going on
but I was
Sunday.
supposed to have a free pass, and I got
a free pass.
I got ended this year, so
really?
I can come with you.
Yeah, come with us.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's gonna be me and the Shermans.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah.
The Shermans will be a part of our podcast crew.
We can discuss
eventually.
that.
Anyway,
I was telling them about how most podcasts die in the naming.
We
stage.
are expanding, guys. So we have a couple of guys. I know Jude is in this chat right now, so we're talking to Jude. We've got Devin, maybe doing some stuff with us too. So we'll be expanding here soon with one team, one podcast, and one team. If you see one team over there, right at Jack's crotch level. One team is going to be something that we're going to be doing as a parent company. So maybe it's a YouTube channel. And then the Cry Me a River podcast. We've talked to those guys. They're going to be connecting with us. And I need to get in touch with them and kind of maybe we can kind of sit down with them and talk to them about what it all entails. But again, it's been one team, one podcast.
Logging out.
We showed you what the GOAT was last year when we beat y'all 50-7.
Let's go! One team!
Relax, big boy. One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast.
Team One Podcast?
One Team, One Podcast.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Really good job.
Yeah. Why is he so fat?
One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast.